I remember when I first moved to the Southern Hemisphere from the Northern Hemisphere 15 years ago now, and I suddenly had this aha moment that in the Northern Hemisphere they get 2 breaks throughout the year because summer holidays happen in July and August, and then Christmas holidays happen in December. So you've almost got this nice 6 monthly block. And I observed it here in the Southern Hemisphere. We do them both together, right? We wait all year. We wait till the end of the year and then we do both. We do summer holidays and Christmas holidays all at once. And often as a result, can feel like we're limping to the finish line. Like we haven't had that good mid-year break that maybe our Northern Hemisphere colleagues get, and we're limping to the finish line, hanging out for summer. And that might resonate for you. And then of course, on the horizon is this Christmas period that makes many of us so busy, particularly women. There is an invisible load for women, even if it's not things you're doing because family members help. Most of the time, it's the mental load because you're thinking about everything that needs doing and finding people to help and making sure that they don't just do it, but they do it properly as well, right? And I remember as a kid opening up my presents. Mum was busy in the kitchen because she always was on Christmas Day. And I opened up my present and my dad was watching and he said, "Oh, that's nice. Who's that from?" And I looked at the tag. It says from Mum and Dad. And so many women, everything falls on our shoulders to organise for Christmas. And not just the presents and the food and the social gatherings, but also the emotional labour. Is everyone having a good time? Is everybody okay? Managing the family dynamics. And of course, at this time of year, managing loss and loneliness and grief as well. Christmas is such a charged time. And yet it comes at a time when we're all hanging out for a break. So I don't believe that calm is cancelled this Christmas. And here are some of my top tips to help us get through the festive period. Space has got to be number one. We don't find much of it, and yet this is when we need it the most. And I feel like sometimes scheduling some white space in our day where we do nothing, even if it's just 10 minutes, can do us the world of good. Yet we so often have this understanding or this myth that if there's space, I need to fill it because I've got so many things to do. And so my counter argument to that and my advice and invitation for you is, what would happen if you didn't fill that space? Even if it was just 10 minutes, you might find that you're way more effective and productive doing all the other things that need to be done when you've had that space. The second one is perfection and simplicity. So often we set the standards way higher than they need to be. We have, particularly if we're a perfectionist, we have such high expectations of ourselves. And so we're trying to deliver the perfect Christmas, buy the perfect presents, be the perfect host, be the perfect parent, partner, you name it. And often we set ourselves up to fail. So my question is, what does a excellent Christmas look like rather than a perfect Christmas? And this involves often us delegating things. So for example, if the kids want to help with wrapping the presents, yeah, they might not look that great, but they'll be wrapped, and that's a job that you don't have to do. The same with our partners when they help with food or loading the dishwasher or any of the many jobs that happen over the festive period. They might not do them to the standard that we do, but better done than perfect is my advice, particularly if it means we're burning out in the process. Because this scale back and this simplicity, often we think that putting everyone else first is our job, and yet this self-sacrifice, it costs us. It doesn't just cost us our own joy and sometimes health, but it makes us less tolerant of those around us. And then it starts to cost other people, right? And we've all had examples of that, particularly over Christmas, where we're perhaps not as tolerant as we need to be because it's such an emotionally charged time of year. And then last but not least is compassion. And I think compassion for ourselves is key in this space. Having a to-don't list as well as a to-do list would be my first piece of advice, but also being able to say no, protect time for rest because you know you need it come this time of year. And often there's a reframe in that. Saying no can often be difficult, particularly for women. We've been taught to do the opposite, and yet my reframe on this is often understanding what saying no means. So when we say no, what are we saying yes to? That's a really good reframe to hack our mindset on that, because saying no to another social engagement because I'm exhausted means saying yes to being present with my family the following day. Saying no to spending too much on Christmas presents is saying yes to not being in debt in the new year and having to forego things that me and my family might need. And so when we focus on what we're saying yes to rather than what saying no means, and it's the same, different ends of the same spectrum, often that makes it easier to do. So my advice, and the thing I want to leave you with, is what can you say no to and still have an excellent Christmas? And when you're making your to-do list for Christmas this year, make sure that you put yourself on it.